GCSE Warfare Through Time short revision clips, moving on through the period 1700 to 1900 to look at weapons today and some of the developments in technology relating to weapons during this period. You'll probably notice a similarity here in the period 1700 to 1900 because once again we're going to say that between 1700 and 1850 there was a lot of continuity. There's very little change in weaponry, but then after the period of the 1850s there are some changes that we should take note of. So, in the period between 1700 and 1850, we've still got muskets continuing to be the main gunpowder weapon used with infantry. This is in the form of the Brown Bess musket, which was muzzle loaded, had a flintlock firing mechanism, and you could possibly fire 2 or 3 lead shots a minute. Pretty inaccurate. So you've still got tactics where you try to get soldiers together in lines and squares in order to maximise the chances of hitting what you wanted to hit. You'd have a bayonet attached to the Brown Bess for use in close combat. Cavalry are still using swords, and you're starting to see artillery used a little bit more often because it's of a lighter weight, it's more mobile. And you can see this at the opening of the Battle of Waterloo in 1815. After 1850, beginning with the Crimean War of 1853 to 56, we're starting to see some technological advancements and some changes in weaponry. For example, grooves were now being cut in gun barrels, which help bullets to spin, increasing range and accuracy. And of course, this process is known as rifling. So you would have the development of Enfield rifles that would use percussion cap firing mechanisms. You could load at the breech of the weapon rather than the muzzle, and therefore this reduced reload time. Brass cartridges were also being used to hold bullets and gunpowder in a small brass casing, which was safer and also helped to reduce reload time. You didn't have to add both of them separately down the muzzle of the musket anymore, which was a time-consuming process. There was rifling in artillery guns possible from the 1860s, as casting seal could be used, and there were new manufacturing techniques to help make this possible. So you got stronger guns with increased range, better accuracy, being produced more cheaply, thinner and lighter gun barrels being produced, so you could get field guns now, artillery pieces, that could be moved more easily around the battlefield, pulled around by horses. By the time you get to the Crimean War in the 1850s, you're also starting to see the technological developments of the Industrial Revolution start to come to the fore. So, for example, you could move troops and supplies around in greater numbers, quicker and over long distances, using railways, using steamships. Also, communications had started to improve too. So you get the invention of the electric telegraph in the 1830s. Signals could be sent along cables in the form of Morse code. By the time you get to the 1880s, you're seeing a few more technological developments on the battlefield. You have smokeless powder for field artillery now, which increases visibility. So you are starting to see science and technology leading to change, and the era of modern warfare is beginning during this period. Furthermore, you get factories during the Industrial Revolution, so you get the mass production of these better weapons. Obviously, weapons being produced, better weapons more quickly, in greater numbers. And during this period, towards the end of the 19th century, you have European relations deteriorating, countries trying to defend their empires overseas now. There's the growing military strength of Prussia and Germany towards the end of the 19th century too. So you are starting to see a strategy, a move towards bigger armies, more modern weapons, the development of an arms race, and of course, all of this is going to result in the world wars of the 20th century that are going to cause so much suffering and destruction on a scale never previously seen before.